What's up, guys? So we're gonna be talking about my riff writing process and how I go about, making music and what goes on in my head. Let's talk about real quick why I'm in drop D. Okay, so I'm in drop D right now. I just put some new strings on this guitar, and I'm usually in drop D because it's very simple to stay within the certain key that I'm trying to play in and hit the notes that I think sound dark and mysterious. So, for example, if you notice, the stuff I was playing earlier, I'm usually within, obviously D sharp, and I love that lower bass feel to it. It's just so soothing to me, so that's why I play it. I think it sounds freaking badass. And so I'm moving up into the G sharps area. We're going to be playing with F, a little bit of G sharp there, G sharp, then I move up to A sharp, right? So I'm kind of I'm kind of playing with sounds that are classic, like Metallica and Slayer and Ozzy and all this stuff, but I'm kind of changing it just a little bit by adding in those sharps. And what's cool about drop D is that I can play the same notes on the next two strings down. Okay, so what do I mean by that? So when I'm playing up here, I'm playing these chords, the F and the G sharps. Well, when I come down here, I'm playing the same thing. I'm playing C, D sharps. I'm playing F here. So and here, of course, your D string, we have the same notes as the top string. So when I'm playing chords, it's very simple to just, see what I mean? So I'm able to take the lower octave notes and I can put in that higher octave very, very quickly and easily and conveniently. So when people say, drop D is for lazy people or whatever, fine, I don't care. Like, it's just a technique. It's just a method. It's a way of hitting the notes that you want to play. It's not anything like, oh, this tuning is superior. I have nothing against E standard tuning, okay? My memes are just jokes. All right, they're for drop D trolls that back in the day they, whatever. I'm done with that. So anyways, I start with a simple beat, and this is where, people might say, oh, your beats, your drums always sound the same. That's the point. I'm trying to just create a simple rhythm or foundation so that way I can build my own original rhythm on top of it. And as long as I put down the same kind of drums in place of those, it'll sound in time. So that's why usually my practice videos, the drums sound the same. I like to play around the 60 beats per minute to around 80, 90, and 100. Anything over that is a bit, I don't know, it's a bit awkward for me. It's fine, obviously I can play it, but it's just awkward, and I don't really feel at home. When I feel like I find a tempo that's pretty much, that's as fast as I want to go, well, then I'll just double it. So if I'm at 90, so then I'll just go up to 180. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to simply play something random with these simple drums, okay? And, let's just see what happens, right? Let's just see what happens. So, you know, like, there is some juiciness in there, but there's also a little bit of random, what the heck was that? So I like to do that because I like to let my body kind of just feel the beat and feel where the rhythm was taking me in this moment, in this particular time in space. You know, this right now in this moment, I'm feeling a particular way than I was yesterday. So this beat is going to be inevitably different for me. So I just want to see where my mind is at, where my body's at, and right now I feel like, okay, I feel really groovy. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to slow down the tempo a little bit because I feel like I could get a better read on this if it was a little bit slower. Okay, let's try it again one more time. Okay, so whatever. Like, okay, so as you can tell, I was kind of feeling that a little bit more. So I would probably head in this direction from this point forward. I would say, okay, 80 is what I'm feeling right now, and I would just kind of play more with the rhythm. So now as far as, you know, what's going on in my head with now musically speaking, so now I'm more concerned about my right hand. Okay, so I'm going to add in a few elements here. I want some chords. Excuse me, I burped. So I want some chords, right? And something like that. So I want a little bit of melody and a little bit of single notes added into that. Adding in a little bit of lead into that rhythm really helps your riff sound nasty and gnarly, man. It makes it sound a little bit more melodic. You know, it's not just it's not just Nickelback stuff. Like that's great for big arena rock and hitting those notes really easily. Like, yeah, I get why the music's played that way. But, you know, change things up a little bit and add in a little bit of lead. So that's why sometimes I'll come down here to the G string and I'll do a couple of double string vibrato or double string bends, you know, whatever. I love that nasty, gnarly, but I love the way that sounds. I think it sounds super freaking cool, very rock and roll, very classic rock and roll. It reminds me of like Ted Nugent stuff. You know, stuff like that. I think it sounds really cool. And none of that was recorded, but that's okay. So what I'm thinking now is let's add in some rhythm and lead. Okay, let's do that. So let's add in some rhythm and lead here, and let's try it one more time on 80 beats per minute. So there was, there was some cool juiciness in there again, but there was also some parts I can clean up and make a lot better. So I would probably go back, listen to that because that was kind of cool, and I would take some of that melody I like. Okay, I'm gonna put that in there and maybe emphasize that a little bit more, because that's really what tracks need, and especially instrumentals, for someone to kind of stick around and listen to it is a melody. They need something that kind of repeats itself and hooks into you and tries to help you understand the foundation of what the song is supposed to make you feel. I guess I'm trying to make you feel alive. I'm trying to make you feel energetic, and that's usually my prerogative, right? That's usually my thing. I tend to try to make energetic music that brings out, your soul, your personality. I want my music to hit you hard and make you just absolutely lose it. I want you to feel young again, and I want you to feel alive. And that's really what I'm after, what I chase after. So when I listen to this melody, I think to myself, okay, does that make me feel energized? Does that make me feel like, yeah, like I want to hear more of that? Then I continue on and I stick to that route. I do my best to commit to this idea, and no matter what, I'm going to finish it. Okay, even if it ends up being, okay, I ended up making the wrong choice here and I went down the wrong path, whatever. Tomorrow's another day for another project. The biggest problem I see in a lot of musicians is their unwillingness to just finish a project and publicize it. Just publish it, man, and let it go, let it free. That's the only way you're ever going to learn. How do you expect to grow and get better if you don't just publish your music and see what happens? See what people's reactions are, because your ears are not the same as 100 million other people in this world, billions of other people. It's not going to be the same for them as it is for you. You are a unique individual. We all have different experiences with music, and just because you may not like something doesn't mean someone else won't. They may actually love it. That's what I kind of run into a lot too. Is I make some videos and I end up thinking, yeah, this video is trash. This video is nothing, and it ends up getting hundreds of likes and tens of thousands of views, and I'm like, why? I don't understand why. I don't even know what I did. So that's why music is so subjective, and just let whatever is in your heart go. Play and take it as a lesson learned and just move on. Talking about my music again, riff wise, again, just trying to stay heavy, okay, and throw in some rhythm, throw in some chords, but at the same time throw in some lead, so that way you make it sound a little bit interesting and melodic. You want that ability to sound different, and that's kind of how you do it. You want to incorporate different elements into one particular riff. Now, this is obviously different than it would be for a song, right? If I'm making a song, this is going to be entirely different. So what I'm doing right now is just building riffs, right? I'm just building some sort of start into an idea. This is nothing. This is not a song. This is not the beginning of a song. This is just taking ideas, putting it into a pot, and I almost said smoking it, and stirring it up and seeing what happens. You want to be creative, brainwash. I said brainwash. You want to be creative, so brainstorm and do different things. And this is what I'm doing. I'm taking my spoon and I'm stirring the pot right now. I'm seeing if these ideas are gonna fit, if this is gonna be something worth committing more of my time to. This is not something that, okay, I'm gonna publish this, so yeah, this is my song. No, and like that's crazy to me that people think that my videos are songs. Like, dude, I just don't get it. Like, obviously, that's why all of this stuff sounds similar and the same, because it's just practice crap. It's just me playing junk. Now, if this was a song, now I'm going to do something different. I'm going to probably change up these drums here, because I want something more that's going to bring me into a more of an introduction vibe. So what do I mean by that? Well, usually introductions are small, short versions, minuscule versions of what the main riff is going to be. So if I already have this main riff, for example, which I've already built, I'm going to take this idea and make it a much smaller idea. So if I have riffs and lead already involved here, so then I'm just going to take out the chords themselves and just put individual notes. You know, just make it very, 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 very dumb simple. And there you go. There's an introduction. And as long as you have a decent song map idea structure in your head, so what do I mean by that is, okay, I want to have an introduction. I want to have maybe a bridge into the hook. Or forget the bridge, that's too weird. I just want the introduction into the chorus, into verse 1, chorus, verse 2, bridge, solo, last chorus, outro. There you go. So for example, I already have this main basic template for what the song is going to sound like. So now I'm just going to build up, put musical ideas into those spaces. Okay, so let's start with the introduction. I'm going to make something simple, you know, whatever. And then here comes the chorus. Now I'm going to play the main riff. Here comes verse 1. So now I'm going to break down that riff one more time. Maybe make it a slightly different, or maybe make it sound like the introduction. Maybe sound exactly like it. As it comes back into chorus, boom, main riff again. Bridge. Now this is where we can get creative. I can make something different. I can maybe pull it out of key. I can change keys here. I can do something entirely different with the bridge. Pull it into a solo if the song requires a solo. Maybe it won't even need a solo. Pulling it back into the last chorus. Boom. Maybe make a slight change in tempo. Maybe make a slight change into the pattern of the riff. Maybe just make a slight variation of that riff just because. And then boom, there you go. There's your outro chorus. And songs are that simple. Songs do not have to be complicated. Songs are very simple ideas that anybody can do, but you just have to build it correctly. It's just like building a house. If you build a house incorrectly, what's going to happen? It's going to fall apart. So you have to start from the ground up and do things properly. And this starts with, kind of maybe learn a little bit of music theory if that's what's limiting you into building these types of things, building songs and building stuff. But what I'm telling you is what anybody can do. Okay, just start simple, make a main riff, and there you go. You have your ground map to where you want to go. So what this whole video has been is basically the introduction to this whole songwriting process, which is making that main idea, making this riff that people are going to hopefully remember forever and ever. And yeah, that's always the goal. You know, you always want to make something memorable and valuable. All right, cool. So I hope that helps. If anybody has any questions at all, please put them in the comments, and I'll be here to help out.